As I would say to politics now, but that's pretty much all we're going to cover till the election day. They backed then-Senator Obama by double digits 4 years ago, but now women voters, well, they're evenly split on the president and Mitt Romney, erasing an 18-point lead that the president had just last month. CNN contributor and Democratic strategist Maria Cardona is in Washington, or as I like to call her, MCDNC. And Anna Navarro,
you actually used it.
a Republican strategist and also a CNN contributor in New York, is Anna Navarro there. So I'm
and I like what L.C. Granderson calls me, the solution.
That's right. We came up with that. Okay, so I'm going to start with MCDNC. Maria, let's start with you. What's behind this shift? Can we believe the numbers? How is this going to shape tonight's vice presidential debate if anyone is putting stock in these numbers?
Well, I think the movement clearly comes from the bounce that Mitt Romney enjoyed from his performance last week. But the question is it sustainable? Look, there's no question that there was nowhere to go but up for Mitt Romney because the gap was so big. The question is, going into tonight's debate, will it hold? And that's going to be a big question, and I'm going to say probably not, because Mitt Romney gave us a big opening, even just yesterday, where he continued to, I would say flip-flop, but I think it's now flip-flop-flip on the whole abortion issue. And so I think you can be sure that Biden is going to bring this up in a very aggressive manner in terms of what women have at stake going into this election with a Romney-Ryan presidency.
And I want you to respond to that, but I want to say this, preface it by saying there's been a lot of talk the past 48 hours about what Maria says about Mitt Romney's stance on abortion. He told the Des Moines Register that, quote, no legislation in his agenda deals with abortion, despite saying previously that he would overturn Roe v. Wade. Here's how Romney and his running mate responded to charges that the Republican changed his position. Listen.
I think I've said time and again, I'm a pro-life candidate. I'll be a pro-life president. The actions I'll take immediately are to remove funding for Planned Parenthood. It will not be part of my budget. And also, I've indicated I'll reverse the Mexico City position of the president. I will reinstate the Mexico City policy, which keeps us from using foreign aid for abortions overseas.
Our position's unified. Our position's consistent and hasn't changed.
What is your position?
I'm sure you'll find out in these debates.
Were you upset that he said that to Des Moines Register?
No.
Look, how you feel about it?
No position has changed. Our position is very consistent.
Okay, so Anna, you heard from both of them. Romney's move to the center, it appears to be a move to the center, has been noted by critics and supporters alike. But could it backfire both with his base and perhaps with undecideds who don't think he holds sincere beliefs? And even with women, we're talking about he's made some gains with women after hearing that comment from the Des Moines Register and then him saying something that appears to be different. Could that change that?
Don, you know I haven't been Mitt Romney's biggest defender or biggest fan, but I really don't see a great inconsistency in what he has said and what he said. What he said yesterday was that he's not going to be pursuing legislation. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because frankly, you know, the difference between taking executive action or pursuing legislation is a big one. It takes a lot of political capital to get legislation through. I don't think you will get any sort of, abortion rights or abortion-less legislation through a Democrat Senate or a very close-held Senate. Yeah.
Can you be more specific about why you think that it's not a flip-flop? Why don't you think this is a big deal?
Because because he's saying he's not going to pursue legislation. He's not saying he's not going to be a conservative president when it comes to these issues. He's going to appoint, what he has said all along is he's going to appoint, anti-abortion federal judges. He's going to take executive action like not complying, not being part of the accord that allows for the U.S. to fund international abortions. He's going to do all those things. And the bottom line, Don, is that he is more conservative than President Obama. And that's the choice. Look, I think that anybody who understands politics understands that on both sides, let's be straight here, let's do some straight talk, on both sides of the aisle, It's very different to be in a primary than to be in a general election.
Okay.
We have seen President Obama evolve on issues like gay rights.
Right.
It's just that when President Obama does it, they call it an evolution. When Mitt Romney does it, they call it a flip-flop. I would tell you that, you know, it is very different to be running to win a faction of the Republican Party than to win the entire country.
We're almost out of time, and I want Maria to get in on this. You heard what Anna said, Maria. She's saying that he's going to be a conservative president and appoint judges, but this is bound to be part of this debate tonight,
yes.
Don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. And that's what actually Mitt Romney did, is give a big opening to continue the conversation about women's rights, about women's health, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about, and how a Romney-Ryan ticket would actually want to jump in and make decisions for women when decisions should be being made by women and their doctors. And that's why a lot of women at the beginning were for President Obama. And I think after this debate and after the next two debates, they will continue to see that it's President Obama, the one who is going to be protecting women's rights and women's health. And by the way, I will say on the flip-flop and evolution, you know, with President Obama, it's probably seen as an evolution, first of all, because Democrats believe in evolution. But secondly, it's one issue. You know, Mitt Romney has basically been on both sides of almost every single issue that has faced him in his campaign of running for president for 5 years.
That was a little jab. That was kind of low there, Maria. If they think
I could easily list a number of issues on which he has evolved, including
moderating between two women. Tougher, two strong women.
Thank you
very
Don,
much.
We
gotta go. We gotta go.
We reserve our right to change our minds.
Thank you, guys. I'm moving on. A reminder for our viewers: CNN extensive coverage of tonight's debate begins at 7 Eastern, right here on CNN. We'll be right back.